Hello! In this video, I'm going to be doing a very surface level comparison of Canva and Lucidpress. Comparison isn't even the right word. I'm just going to be kind of showing some features of both and trying to help inform your decision over whether you want to choose Canva for a project or Lucidpress for a project. Now, my focus here is on student projects and helping them build things like a newsletter or a poster type thing. Okay, that's my main goal. There's a lot of other things we can do in both of these platforms, but I'm really going to just be focusing on what I've gotten a lot of questions about, which is more of like a newspaper type look, newsletter, or even like a poster that you're going to print of something that looks newsletter-ish. All right, so let's dig into it. Now, both Canva and Lucidpress have a lot of templates, and that is what I think makes these so great, is that you can start from one of the templates that they have and then build from it. I do find Canva visually a bit more appealing. I like the graphics and the fonts that are built into Canva. I think it's simpler to use. I find myself in Canva more often when I want to do a quick graphic. That said, there are a lot of functionality in Lucidpress that you might not find in Canva. It is better for building certain things. What I'd say is that Canva has more pre-designed elements that you can build off of, so you can modify and reuse, versus Lucidpress, which has a lot of really robust functionality for building from scratch, for designing something really innovative and a little bit more complex. So if you're looking for those elements and you want to do a little bit more of the design yourself, I would say Lucidpress has a lot of advantages there, versus if you're looking for something to modify and to still get a really cool looking output, but having some of the design elements done for you, I think Canva really shines there. At the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you one of these is better than the other one. I think it depends on what you're looking for. And my goal here is to pick one of the templates and to just show you some of the things in each of them so that you can get a better overview and then make your decision from there. All right. So let's go ahead and let's start with one of the templates. And I'm just doing magazine cover templates in Canva. So how I got there was I went to the templates, and then you can just type in like magazine covers and they'll come up. And there's a lot here. You can also do like newsletters and that will pop up some other things. Actually, I like this one to compare. So let's go ahead and choose this one right here. And I'm going to just press customize this template. All right, so from here, I can see that both of my pages are here. I can add additional pages as I want. What I really like about Canva is the images that are built right in here. So you can search for really anything that you want, and you'll find all of these graphics in here. And Canva's free for educators, so you can use the things that are not just marked free, but also marked EDU. You have so many options right in here. You have photos, you have graphics, you can even pull in the videos that they have in here, and they have some audio also. But I'm going to just stick with something simple. So let's use that photo, and then I can move it around and you can see the nice grid lines that are there. I can obviously resize it. I can even crop it so easily like that. Another Canva superpower is this edit image button, because it actually allows you to remove the background right within Canva. That can be a real superpower. So you'll see that this image right here, let me make it larger for a moment. It has this whole background. If I use this background remover, it does some crazy magic, and you see it removes the whole background, even for something as complex as what we just saw there. So that's a pretty sweet thing that is included in Canva, that background remover. So going to apply that for a second. It is typically very useful for if you bring in something See, I was like bringing in a pair before. And a lot of images have like a white background like this. If I brought that in, right, I really just want the background to be transparent. And if I click on edit image and I use the background remover, then it makes that white background transparent. So I'd say that's a real superpower that you have in Canva. It can be super, super useful. Okay, let's move on. If you wanted the image to kind of replace one of the images that are already here, the way to do that is you just pull it in and drag it like on top of the image, and then it replaces that image. You see, like that, versus pulling in another image. So it's very easy to start with the template, and you can either like delete what's in the background, or again, if I wanted to just replace it, I just drag it on top and it replaces it just like that. You can also set it as your background image. So if I wanted this to be my background image, you drag it on and let it snap into the background like that, and then it becomes the background image. The background image is not something that you can move around. So let me undo that because I don't want a background image here. You can also upload anything from your desktop that you want to pull in. Works the same way. You have all these text tools, and you do have a lot of really nice looking graphics here. So I think this is where Canva really shines, is all the pre-made stuff that's in here. I think it's very design friendly. It looks good, pre-formatted. Pull it in just like that. I want to change the color. It's simple. Just go up here. It already shows you the colors that are from the photos. So it gives you the color palettes that are already in your design. And then you can just change the color from the default colors as well if you want to choose one of those. So again, that's another thing I really love, is that it picks up the colors from the things that are already in your design. So it gives you the color palettes that match whatever you're doing. So again, another really nice design element that's there. The grid lines, again, snap, so it's easy. And then you can do things like moving things to the front or the back to layer. So you just use the position and you can send that like to the back, or if you want the image to be in the back, you can send it backwards and then the text pops up on top again. When you're typing in Canva, even if it's a newsletter, you kind of have to make things fit into the boxes. So if I was like editing this and, I realized that there was an extra sentence that I wanted to add, then, it's all messed up here. I would have to kind of move this around myself and make it fit. Otherwise, I would need to mess with this text box over here. So this is a downside of using Canva, and I'm going to show you how this aspect is better in Lucidpress, okay? So again, each of these are just separate text boxes that don't talk to one another in any way. So you have to make things fit yourself. Again, there are a lot of guidelines here in terms of like lining everything up, so you can easily line things up. You can easily make things, centered. Again, using the guidelines that pop up. The design elements over here are wonderful. You can embed videos. Pull the video in. You could embed, any video that you want. And then when you share this, just move that over here for a second. When I share this, so if I want to share the link, it is going to actually play the video. So it is an animated type of playback. So you can see that the video actually does play. So that's really nice. And that's what it looks like when you share. It has this nice presentation view like this. So how I got there was I went over to the 3 dots and I pressed share link. This other share button is more if you want to add collaborators and you can invite somebody to edit. You can invite them to just view only, but I like to just use, when I want to share the link, I use the share link button. You can integrate it with your Google Drive. If you don't see that option, click on the see all button and you'll find other ways to be able to share your Canva creation in other ways. If you want to embed it, that's there too. Basically, I usually just press share link. And if you have any videos or animations, those will play very nicely. I had mentioned that you can add a YouTube video. How you do that is you click on more down here. You go to YouTube and you can find a YouTube video like that. You can pull it in. Let's make it a bit smaller. And when I use the share link on that, let me show you how that looks.
What's up guys, I over here and welcome.
Plays right in line. So that's really nice also. I find Canva just so simple to use. I love the ability to, again, search for the different graphics that I want to use right in here. And then again, the colors. I think that's really powerful that it matches the colors from whatever you're doing. I also really like the fonts that they have. There are a lot of fonts to choose from, especially if you are an educator, then you have access to all the premium fonts also. And there's a lot to choose from that look great. And then the last thing is when you go to text, you get a lot of different font combinations that look nice together. A lot of design choices. You can also resize these. You can change the size if you want to, like poster print, for example, make this a larger size to meet whatever you need. So that is available also. And it's great for social media graphics because it has all those dimensions already kind of built in here that you can just choose from it and then resize. I want to keep this rather brief, so that's going to be all that I'm going to say on Canva for right now. Let's go over to Lucidpress and let's compare things. So let's find a newsletter here. I'm going to go ahead and just choose this one and press new. The first thing that's really nice about Lucidpress is you can see that these boxes can actually talk to one another. You see that this line here, it means they connect. So that means if I add a sentence, you see how it moved things to this one? I couldn't do that in Canva. So that is something that's really nice. So for instance, like this had some more overflow. What I can do is I can make this a bit smaller. Maybe I want to add another text box, add some body text, and move that over here. And what I'll do is I click on this little arrow button, connect it to this one, and it pulls in that overflow text that I had over here. If you are creating something with like a lot of text and you want the text boxes to talk to one another and you don't want to have to manually do all of that, then Lucidpress offers that in a way that I think is better than anything else that I've seen. So it does that really nicely. Again, how I do that when I want the text boxes to talk to one another is if they're not originally, okay, so if they're not talking to one another right now, I click this little arrow button and I connect it to another text box and boom, they're talking to one another. So again, take that one out. Let's take off this link here. I could do the same thing with this one talking to that one, just like that. So that's a really nice thing. You'll see here that I don't have the same font choices that I had in Canva. For design, I don't think that I get the customization features that I have in Canva that I like personally. Like the colors, it does tell me my document colors, but that's not pulling from the images to kind of match my palette. When it comes to searching for images, I'm definitely more limited in Lucidpress. They don't have a built-in library, though you can do a Bing search within the images. So let me show you again. I just click on the little image. So by default, it's going to search for images that are already in your Google Drive, which is a very nice way to access images that you have in your Google Drive. You can also do a Bing search here, though it's better if you click on Manage and then click on Bing search here, because then you get a lot more options to filter. So if I type in like back to school, you can filter by what size you want, by a color if you're looking for only color or only black and white. You can also search by license type. And finally, something that can be helpful is that you can search with a transparent background if you need that. Lucidpress does not have the option to make the background transparent, like we could remove the background in Canva, but you can search by transparent background, which can be helpful here. Or you could search for just some cute clip art, and then you can just add it, click on it, insert it, resize it as you want. And if you want to crop the image, you can right click and actually crop the image however you need. Okay, moving on. With the text, I really just have heading, subheading, and body text. So again, had more options in Canva. That said, there are other elements here where Lucid shines. Like there's, the table feature that's here. In the more features, you have some buttons that you can pull in. When you pull in a YouTube video like that, you can just change the YouTube URL over here. That doesn't give you the option to find the video within Lucidpress like you could do in Canva, but you just add the link right here, and that will pull in your video. So you do have the option to pull in YouTube videos in Lucidpress also. Again, I clicked on the 3 dots here and I just chose the video. You have some buttons to choose from, if you're trying to make this look like a newsletter, to have it point to some of your socials. You can pull in like the Twitter icon, then customize the link over here. So you can change the URL to whatever your Twitter handle is, just like that. And then it will become a clickable link when you share it. You can, in the view, you can turn on the grid, so you can show a grid here. So now I have some more like customization. If I'm really trying to line things up, that can be really nice depending on what you're trying to do. And you also can show the ruler up here. So again, that ruler bar can be nice, and you can zoom in and out to kind of get more customization. Again, there's some features on Lucidpress that like it shines in this area if you want to do more. That I think that linking of the text is like an amazing feature if you need that. And you can also hyperlink text in both of these. So in Lucidpress, really all of your guidelines are over here on the right, where like you can bold, you can add a URL right here, and that becomes a URL. That's a clickable link. When I want to share it, I can press the share drop down and just publish it on the web. You can choose to hide the Lucidpress logo, name it. Let's go ahead and publish it. Copy link. And this is what it looks like. Just like that, you can see the video obviously is going to play. I can click on the URLs. That button that I had there, that works. Go back and this URL hyperlinked out perfectly. So that's what that looks like. How do I hyperlink in Canva? Let's go back to our newsletter. So if I wanted to hyperlink, I would just like double click on a word. I click on the little linky icon over here. And now that is a hyperlinked text. I'm not going to see it until, of course, I go into my share link, and that becomes a linked URL. You might also think about, do you like it looking like this? That's one look. And Lucidpress, let's look at them side by side, looks like this. I think they look rather similar in the published look. I think it's more the builder that is quite different. And it depends on what you're looking for. I think Lucidpress offers some more really robust features. I think it is a little bit harder to get up and running with, but not much. I think that both of them offer a lot of templates. They have a different look to me. I love Canva for the simplicity of the design and all the design tips that it gives me in here. And then, being able to just choose the design elements right from the sidebar. I find that really nice and easy, but the fact that like these text boxes can't talk to one another, if I'm really creating a newsletter, I might choose Lucidpress for that reason alone. The very last thing I said that I'd talk about is how to create your class in Canva. If you're not already on an educator license, just Google Canva education and then click on the first link that you see and make sure that you sign up as a teacher. They just have to verify your credentials and you'll get signed up for free. From there, when you're in your account, go over here and go into your account settings. If you go into billing and teams, that's where you can create a new class, just like that. Once you've set up your class, all of this is for your demo class that I called it. If you want to get back, you can click here and you'll see all of your teams that you have. So if you have different classes, those are different teams. So I have my main folder here, Stacey Roshan's class is all here. And that's where I'm going to find my class, and I can add people and groups. Let me go back to the demo one that I just set up. You'll just switch your team over here and it'll look like you have no designs whatsoever, but that's just because you have to be in your right class. Keeps them kind of separate, which is nice. Go into your demo class, and then to add students, you just go to people. And then the easiest thing I think is just get an invite link and then copy this link to give to students. And then they can just sign in with their Google account. And then they will be added to your class. And when they do that, then they will also have all of those premium EDU elements. So if they go into the templates, you'll see that they get access to all the ones that are the free premium ones also. they have all the same access to the EDU ones that I was showing you before. Students also have access to that. If I go back to the teacher end, once a student has joined, you'll be able to see them down here in your member view. So you know that they've been added to your class. If you want to add templates that are then shared with your class, you can do that. I'm not going to go into all of this because I can make a whole nother video about how to set up things in Canva as an educator, but I think I've made this brief video long enough. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope that there's a thing or two that will apply to what you're doing, and that'll be it for me for now. Bye.